I'm Kate.
I'm Avon.
And I'm Sonia.
And today we're dishing with you from Hamilton's Bar and Grill, located at 233 2nd Street Northwest. This place is a little hidden gem, but a great place to come for some sports.
And speaking of sports and food, we are talking food this week because it's Food Week, right? DC Food Week?
Oh, we've just decided it's Food Week here on the District Dish.
Is that what? Oh, yes. Follow along, people, because we are trendsetters. Well, speaking of trends, we are big onto fitness. Why? Because I'm not really fitting into my clothes these days. But we have a great guest today. Her name is Katherine Tallmadge, and you are the brain trust behind personalizednutrition.com. But you also have this great book, Diet Simple, and that is really what I need. I need simple diet and no running, no taking stairs. Although before we went on air, she told me that the best thing to have was a Guinness with a scoop of ice cream. She's my kind of nutritionist. Tell us your philosophy. Is that your philosophy?
My philosophy is to find a way of eating that's enjoyable and satisfying, but still helps you achieve your weight and health goals.
But
and
then
that's
do
what
I have
do
to
with
work
people
out
every
if
day.
I enjoy it?
Very minimal. Believe
Really?
me, all I do is walk.
Okay.
And I get people to walk in different ways that are convenient for them.
Okay.
And maybe work with a trainer
You
Those
have to be
gummies.
active, right?
a couple times a week.
What you eat does matter, but
Or
being
yoga,
active
or a
too.
flow
Really?
yoga, or swimming, something
You're
for
saying
your
do
muscles and
something
flexibility.
active. Don't just watch TV.
Exactly.
Just don't do the hand lifts to the
You don't have
mouth.
to exercise if you just walk, and maybe a couple times a week do a really nice flow yoga class or swim or something for stretching and flexibility and strength.
Well, how come we should listen to you? What are your qualifications?
My qualifications.
Other than being cute and have good guns. What are your? Why should we listen to
does.
you?
Well, I think this is
Well-
an important question because, as you were telling me earlier, there are a lot of nutritionists around, but you really do have credentials and qualifications. So tell us about that.
Well, the RD after the name is really important to look for. It stands for Registered Dietitian, and it means I've been through certain educational requirements, I've done an internship, I've passed a national exam, and that I do 75 continuing education credits every few years. Now, being in the nutrition field, it's a science, and it is constantly changing. What I'm teaching people today, I didn't learn in college. I only know because I keep up with the science every day, and things are changing every day. And one thing I've discovered is there are tons of people practicing nutrition without a license doing harm and damage. Unfortunately, they're trainers, they work in gyms, they work in salons, they work in health food stores, and they're giving really bad nutritional advice and harming people.
And they're all overweight.
One person's nutrition is not the same for another, just in terms of metabolism and just genetics, I'm
It's
guessing?
important to be trained properly. With each person, I customize their program so that I take into consideration their family background, their genetics, their medical needs, their personal history, as well as their current lifestyle.
I will attest to that because the success I had with nutrition came when the person I worked with, we had a previous guest on, I worked with him before, and he used the numbers, and the numbers made sense for me, and I was able to either cut weight and tone and make all the changes I wanted within a quick, safe amount of time.
Yes, right. And it's important that your dietitian or nutritionist does it in a way that fits your personality and your lifestyle. And when you're trained, like I am, uniquely trained, then you can do that. And then I have a master's in behavioral science because
Cracking the code.
it's all really.
So let's go to that because
I want to go back to, she says shed pounds without even trying.
well, that's what I'm saying, because I don't want to work out and I want to
try.
lose weight and I don't want to try. So what's the behavior that I have to
aren't
do?
we a lazy
You
bunch?
guys look so great.
We're such a lazy bunch.
Well,
I'm
no
up
one
to
does.
the table, that's why.
No one wants to work hard. No one wants to try. No one wants to feel deprived. And you know what? Every day my clients say, and I work with doctors are my clients, psychologists, lawyers, very intelligent people. It's not rocket science, but there's definitely a learning curve. People have to learn how to practically integrate changes into their lives so that they can live with it and enjoy it. But the other day, this psychologist therapist client of mine said, you know, Katherine, I hate to admit it, but this is fun. And I hear this from my clients all the time. I'm never hungry. This is not a diet. I can do this forever. This feels more positive, more enjoyable. It's easier than I ever imagined. And when you work with a real pro, somebody with experience, someone with proper qualifications, that's how it should be. I wouldn't be in business if it weren't fun and if it didn't help a person's health as well. I get most of my referrals from doctors.
Well, you give 192 tricks in this book.
I know, it's
and
so
some
fun.
of them are pretty interesting. I was just looking at one that said, eat your office supplies.
Well,
What is that?
Chew on pencils? What does that mean?
That's called pilfering.
well, you know, some people have to eat in the office. You know, they live at their offices. So I teach them how to, maybe on a Monday, bring in the supplies they need for the
Oh,
week.
that makes sense.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's right, exactly.
And not eating out of the vending machine.
Yeah, that is
right, and not being a vending machine victim.
that is.
I like that.
Plus, it is expensive for no reason. $1.50 for that small bag of chips, it's not worth it.
Or ho-hos.
Oh my gosh, and
but
for
I do love those.
$1.50, wow, you could get a really nutritious roast beef sandwich made from home, or peanut butter and jelly sandwich with fruit and
A lot of
yogurt.
a lot of your tips are just small little changes throughout your life,
And
not-
recipes in the back
And
here,
recipes,
too.
not a huge overhaul.
I've loved putting the book together. It's really a compilation of 20 years of working with people and finding what they love to do and dividing people into different personalities. And in the beginning of the book, I tell my own personal story, which is all about how I got into the business because my mother was constantly struggling with her weight, and the pain and frustration that she felt really affected me. And I guess I didn't realize it at the time, but when I chose a major in college, I chose nutrition. And it's only after years of reflection that I realized it was to help people like my mom. And it really is painful to see people go on diet after diet and become more and more frustrated, more and more unhealthy and unhappy. And I love it when people tell me this is easier and more enjoyable than I ever imagined.
And I think it's important about where people put diet in the name of what they're doing. Like South Beach diet is maybe unhealthy, but diet simple is implying this is a way of eating and a lifestyle. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Well, Katherine, we're running out of time, but everybody is getting ready for their swimsuit season.
Yeah.
So can you give us just one tip that can get us ready for swimsuit
My one
season?
tip is that I'm going to wear a tent, is what I'm planning on doing.
Okay, well, Sonia's going to wear a tent. What should the rest of us do?
One tip is it's important to get your mind into it. Develop a vision of yourself walking along the beach in your bikini to get you excited. Also, a sense of urgency. Think about the negative consequences of when you're in bed deciding whether to sleep a little longer or get out and take a walk. Think about the negative consequences of not getting up and taking a walk. Do I want to feel crummy today, or do I want to feel great today? So I think psychologically, psyching yourself up is the most important thing you need to do. Having a big, delicious breakfast is number 2. And everyone is happy to hear that news.
That's right, and we'll just imagine ourselves in our bikinis.
Yeah.
Well, not
so
me.
much
I won't
for
be
getting
wearing
us.
one.
He won't be wearing a bikini,
No.
I
but the
would
rest
need
of
to
us
see
will
that.
be,
Horrible
or
I
a
will
tent.
see it.
Katherine, thank you so
That
much
one
for
is-
being with us. We will be dieting simple. We've got 191 more tricks because I already told you one of them. Make sure you check us out next week. Maybe we'll give you another one right here on the District Dish.